I don't even know where to start. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is a mess, but we gotta play some games. We gotta do some. I don't know. Hey, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we're gonna try, and I say try, to play some games on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. I made the mistake of migrating my account, but it seems like it's not really that big of a mistake because alright, we're gonna backtrack just a second here, bear with me. The other day, Pokemon announced, or it might have been yesterday, whatever it was, Pokemon announced the 2022 rotation, or 2023 rotation, which is happening in, they specifically said for digital play on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, beginning on March 30th, 31st, whatever it is, when Scarlet and Violet, like it's either the day of or the day before Scarlet and Violet comes out. Which tells us that perhaps Pokemon Trading Card Game Online will no longer be in use when the release of Scarlet and Violet happens. So I think it's the day before Scarlet and Violet comes out, which makes sense because if they're not uploading or, putting the assets into Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, we won't be able to use it for Scarlet and Violet. So we're only going to be left with Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Now, that is speculation. There has not been an official announcement. It's just kind of reading between the lines and guessing based on the announcement that Pokemon made. Speaking of rotation for IRL play, it's going to be like April 12th or April 15th or something like that. You can find the information. I have it in my Discord if you're interested, and I have a link to that in the video description. But oh my god, I don't know what to do. Pokemon Trading Card Game, it sucks. It's terrible. It's bad. And there's a bug right now that we're gonna try to avoid. But if you're playing against the Mew Vmax deck and they put a Fusion Strike energy into the active, the game just stops working. And I don't know what to do. But we're gonna go ahead and try it anyway, I guess, right? I feel like the background is like super weird looking, so I'm trying to like get the lighting just right, and it's not happening. Anyway, let's go ahead, go to Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Before we do, if you haven't already, do me a favor, subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. Tells YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. Now, we're gonna just try and play some games. So here's a deck that we have not seen relevant at all since roughly the time of Fusion Strike. It's been over a year since this deck had some significance in the meta, and at the time it was a top 2, top 3 deck. It was very, very good. It's my favorite deck of all time. Single Strike Urshifu V, or this is the V, you get it. Single Strike Urshifu V. The whole idea is to build up a Pokemon and just annihilate, just blow up whatever's in the active. And I got my phone's going, so I gotta turn it on vibrate. Impact Blow, 2 fighting and a colorless does 180, can attack during your next turn. And you're like, Nick, that's really not that big a deal. Palkia can do 280 for far less for 2 waters, and you can attack every turn. Yes, however, this is a V, so that's 1. 2, we have Single Strike Energy. Now, Single Strike Energy counts as either a dark or a fighting energy. You can only attach it to Single Strike Pokemon, and for every Single Strike energy you have on your Pokemon, your attacks do 20 more damage. So that 220, that 180 from Single Strike Urshifu V becomes 220 damage with just 2 Single Strike energies on them, which means as a Pokemon, we go first. We start to put some energies, get our board going, and then we attack into a Palkia, not a Lugia because they have fighting resistance, but which is one of the reasons why this deck doesn't work. But you get the idea. You can just knock out Vs very, very easily. We evolve into Urshifu Vmax, which has the beatdown for 100, 3 colorless energies. Not bad, which means things like Crobats, if we have enough Single Strike energies, we can knock out Lumineons, we can knock out maybe Arceus Vs. Random stuff. We have a single, like 1 Single Strike energy on there. We're knocking out like Comfies and Sableyes. We're knocking out whatever it's called, Cramorants. We get 3 Single Strike energies on there. We can knock out Radiant Charizards. Like, it's really good for just while we're powering this thing up, taking out a single prize, or maybe getting a squishy lightning type or something that's weak to fighting 2 prize V, and just use beatdown, because our other attack, Gmax 1 blow for 3 fighting and a colorless, does 270 damage, but we have to discard all energies attached to this Pokemon, and if we do, I mean, we have no choice, but when we do, we ignore all effects and abilities on our opponent's active Pokemon. So, hey, that Goodra that attacked into us last turn and now takes 80 less damage, and then they have Lake Acuity, so they take an extra 20 less damage, and they have Radiant Gardevoir, so they take 20 less damage. We don't care. Duraludon says it can't be hit by special energies. We don't care. Miltank says it can't be hit by Pokemon V, or we don't care about. It does not matter what your opponent puts in front of us. It is getting blown up to pieces, because we mentioned that single strike energy before. We get 20 damage for each one we put on here, so now we're gonna have 3 single strike energies at the minimum. We're gonna be doing 270, 290, 310, 330, enough to knock out any Pokemon in the game, including Eternatus, because Eternatus has 340, but it is weak to fighting, so really cool there. So how do we get all those single strike energies onto a Pokemon? There's no Archeops, there's no really good fighting energy accelerator. Well, we have the Houndoom. Now, this Houndoom has the ability Single Strike Roar, which says once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Single Strike energy and put it onto one of your Single Strike Pokemon. If you do, the Pokemon you put it on, that energy onto, takes 20 damage. So yeah, we're gonna go from 330 health to 310, and then 290, 270. Like, we're gonna lose health every time we have to do this. But we can get multiple energies in play very, very quickly if we have multiple Houndooms in play. So the name of the game is to establish a good Houndoom board. So we want to get a bunch of Houndours out very, very early. Now, that 20 damage all in one turn can be problematic, but if it's spread out over the course of the game, we can use Radiant Tsareena to heal 20 damage off of our Pokemon each turn. So if we're spreading those energies out, that means 2 Urshifus are taking 20 damage and a Morpeko is taking 20 damage. Well, we can just heal 20 damage off all of those things with Radiant Tsareena's Elegant Heal ability. So that's pretty cool. We have some Lumineon if we need to find a supporter, some a Crobat if we want to draw some cards. We also have, as a single prize attacker, Morpeko. Now, Morpeko, 50 health seems really low, but Explosive Discontent does 30 times the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon. So, again, we just pile a bunch of single strike energies onto this thing. We can only get 2 before it knocks itself out, because remember, if we do 3, it takes 60 damage, then it gets KO'd. So we put 2 single strike energies onto this thing. Now it has 4 damage counters, which means it's doing 120 damage. But we have, 2 single strike energies, so that 120 becomes 160 damage, which is not bad, right? For a single prize Pokemon, 160 damage potentially is really good, not including if we attach one from hand. So we can get quite a bit of damage on a Pokemon with just a little more Morpeko. And then we have a second single prize option, the Tauros. This is a Chilling Reign Tauros that I've never seen anybody use, but here it is. Raging Bolt, 2 colorless energies, does 20 damage, and it does 20 more damage for each damage counters on this Pokemon, and it's now confused. Takedown for the same double colorless does 80, 30 to itself. Again, we could just pile on a bunch of single strike energies, use Raging Bull, use Takedown, just get those single prize Pokemon out of the way, kind of help offset our prize trade. As far as energy goes, we have 4 capture. Again, we want to try to get those Houndours into play immediately. So 4 capture energies, 4 single strike energies, and a single basic fighting energy. We have a bunch of trainers. What happens when we use something like Gmax 1 blow? One of our Pokemon gets knocked out. We have to, discard energies to retreat. How do we get those single strike energies back into play so we continuously attack? Urn of Vitality is the option. It's an item card. Shuffle up to 2 single strike energies from your discard back into your deck, and that's the loop that we want to do, right? Get energies from the deck onto a Pokemon, attack, it gets KO'd, or we retreat, or we discard them for some reason. Energies go into the discard, earn a Vitality back into the deck, and then accelerate with Houndoom to a new Pokemon. Just, kind of keep our attacks flowing at all times, which is pretty cool. Ordinary Rod so that we can shuffle some, we're not really looking to shuffle basic energies, but we could get a basic fighting energy. We really want to be able to recycle some of those single prize Pokemon, a Morpeko, a Tauros, something like that. Air Balloon and Escape Rope for a little bit of mobility. We got Quick Ball and Ultra Ball, Evolution Incense as our Pokemon search options. And that also does include Hisuian Heavy Ball. 4 Tower of Darkness, discard a single strike energy from your hand to draw 2. It's a really nice consistency piece. It's going to bump things like Tower of Sinnoh, Path to the Peak if we have to use something like Lumineon or a Crobat. And then we have a few supporters, 3 Marnie, 2 Boss, and 2 Peers. What does the Peers do? Search a deck for a Dark Pokemon and an Energy. So we can get Houndours onto the field to play Peers, get a Houndoom and an Energy, and then we can start attacking, accelerating energies. There we go. And we also have a copy of Forest Seal Stone. It's an ability that lets us just search our deck for any card we want. So if we're missing that one piece, we can now find it. We do have 3 copies of Professor's Research for a strong draw. And then I feel like I was missing something. I forgot to add this, the single strike Scroll of Scorn, Furious Anger. Now, for 1 fighting energy, it does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on our Pokemon. So we discard all of our energies with Urshifu's Gmax 1 blow. We get hit into the next turn, really big damage. Lugia comes in and hits us for 280, 290, something like that. Okay, well now we just attach an energy from the hand, attach this single strike Scroll, and now we're doing 300, 290, 300 damage, something like that. We are just obliterating, again, whatever's in our way, and it's just a way of like maximizing the use of our Urshifu Vmax, right? Really get the most out of this 3 prize Pokemon. We use a major attack like Gmax 1 blow, they attack into us, and then we can counter again with single strike Scroll for just 1 energy while we build up something else on the bench. At least that's the goal. So there we go. In terms of like decks that you don't want to face, Lugia is kind of a difficult one because Radiant Charizard is going to hit us really, really hard, especially if we are decreasing our health by using single strike Roar. Maybe we can't get our Tsareena. Maybe we just had to pile too many energies in one turn. We took a bunch of damage. We only healed 20 of it. Radiant Charizard comes in and hits 280. Mew is obviously a problem. Amazing Ray Yveltal is obviously a problem. I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of faith in this deck. I don't think it's particularly good, but my man Steuben sent it to me and said someone did pretty well with this, and I wish I knew who so I can give them proper credit, so I apologize for not knowing, but thank you, Steuben, for sending me this list, sending it my way. I really appreciate it, and we'll just go and see how it does. So here we go, first game. It's taking a little while to find somebody, which is not good, but here we go. Okay, I finally get somebody. I obviously don't want there to be a bug, because if there is a bug, then the gameplay, the deck profile doesn't get to show the way you want it to. But at the same time, I want you to see how garbage this system or this platform really is. Our opponent chooses, they are going to go first, and it's not particularly good for this deck. Laser Impact is an attack that lets us on Urshifu for a single fighting energy, search a deck for 2 basic fighting energies, and attach it to that Pokemon. Normally that would be okay. This is so bad. I don't want to start Urshifu, but I also can't give up my 1 Houndour. So, kind of have to, or maybe I should have, right? Maybe I should have. Because then I can Marnie my first turn. But we'll see what my opponent does. I mean, we're not going to be able to really do too much, but I'm going to throw this tower. I don't want to lose my Houndooms just yet. So we'll go ahead. Marnie. They didn't really do much, but I didn't really have a great... This is not a much better hand, but at least we're going to get a second Houndour into play. And then I can tower away one of these urns to go ahead and draw a couple more cards. We'll get an Urshifu. That's pretty good. And now we're just going to end our turn. At the very least, maybe we can draw into a supporter with another tower. We're going to see 3 cards between our top deck and our tower, so maybe we can go ahead and find either an energy that's like a single strike energy or a second Houndoom. That would be pretty cool. They're going to Crobat for 2. Not what you want to see. I mean, it's not a lot of draw power. So either their hand is clunked up or something like energies. I guess we'll find out in a second. Oh, playing an Inteleon Vmax deck. Okay. Not as worried anymore because we can very easily Gmax one blow and take out this Inteleon pretty easily. So they're gonna hit me with Ram, which normally wouldn't matter, but sometimes with this kind of deck, the damage does matter. Alright, so we're gonna evolve. Now I do not want to single strike Roar first because it's gonna pull an energy out of the deck and there's a less chance that I will find one. So I'm going to Tower first, and I'm gonna get rid of my Tower of Darkness. And look at that, we get an Evolution Incense. So now we can go ahead and start to make some stuff happen here. And I am going to single strike Roar onto my active. We got all 4 energies in the deck, and I'm gonna take a second to have to click and drag instead of just clicking. It's so really annoying. I'm gonna take a second to look at my prizes here. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at all of our cards. We got our Crobat in there, we got our Lumineon, Tsareena's in there, we got a Vmax, some bosses. We're feeling pretty good as far as what's okay. I purposefully did not choose an energy because we're gonna knock out this Snom, and I'm gonna attach an energy here. We're going to go ahead and pull just the Radiant Tsareena. And now I'm going to do 60 damage, which is enough to KO this Snom. So maybe I should have went to the other Urshifu. That actually would have been smarter. But I should have used it to the bench Urshifu, and then but if I healed, then well, I could have healed at the start of my next turn. But whatever. That's kind of what you want to do with this, is you don't want to load up too many energies all at once. Using the single strike Scroll of Scorn, I was able to take a KO. I didn't have to put extra damage onto this Pokemon, so this, then this comes in, KOs it, whatever, then I lose all those energies. Just trying to be cognizant of our damage and energy placement. Especially because if we get rid of all of our urns, if I research and I lose 3 of my 4 urns because one's already in the discard, I'm really in a tough spot for this next turn. But we are going to knock out this Inteleon, which is pretty solid. So we're just going to single strike Roar, and we can go on to the active. We'll take 20 damage. We're going to heal in just a second. But we're going to go on to this other. We're not going to put this one onto the active. We're going to put it onto the bench because now no matter what happens, I have an attacker ready for next turn. I can use Gmax one blow. I can retreat into this one. I have a few options. We're going to heal 20 damage off of everything. So that's pretty good. And we are just going to... We're going to Impact Blow. Because what I can do next turn to get 2 prizes if needed is I can accelerate a single strike energy to my active, or I could just evolve into the Vmax, boss up that Crobat, and then use Furious Anger, which again will do enough damage to KO. So at the moment, we got 30, 50, 70, it's only 140, but the second I get that last single strike energy, we will be doing enough to take a KO, which is pretty cool. Or I could just evolve and use Beatdown, like I mentioned in the deck profile. Either way works. There's the Frostmoth, a turn too late. I don't know if they had any. I mean, they couldn't have had anything that good off them. Maybe I morning them into a bad hand. I don't know, but they go ahead and concede. We're gonna go ahead, try another game, see how it does. The Inteleon deck is not a particularly good one. We're gonna choose Hedge. We do want to go first. Of course it's Tails. Why would it be anything other than Tails? So, wonderful. Oh boy. But we can do all right going going second if we have a pretty decent start. Of course, our opponent's going to go first. You should almost always go first in a blind setup if you don't know what's going on. Starting Lumineon is not great for a couple of reasons, right? We obviously don't want to lose 2 prizes. We might need that later to find a Piers. Like, I would have loved to have used this next turn to find a Piers, right? Because then I can quick ball for a Houndour, and then next turn get an energy and a Piers, capture energy, you know, just try to chain off of each other. But they got the Fairy sleeves. Now, Fairy is not allowed in standard format. It was rotated out, so that's fun. So who knows what we're playing against? Are they going to put any more cards on the bench? It doesn't look like it. They're playing against Mew, and they're playing the Fusion Strike build, which means you are going to see the soft lock. The second they put a single strike energy onto this active Pokemon, any active Pokemon. Now, Mew seems like a very difficult matchup, and it is, but it's actually kind of doable with Houndoom and the Morpeko, because they can both, between the two of them, I can 2-shot a Mew Vmax, and so I can Ordinary Rod, all that kind of stuff, kind of make some things happen. Now, they chose to attach to the Mew. That's fine. Fusion Strike system. Watch them find another Battle VIP pass. The game didn't soft lock yet, which is nice. They must have gotten the Ultra Ball, or maybe just needed an extra card. They are playing the Catcher's version. They have Pokemon Catcher, which is never good. So Pokemon Catcher is very, very scary. It's our turn. Cool. Alright, Quick Ball. Well, we are going to, I guess, get rid of this Urn. We're gonna get a Houndour. We're going to attach an energy. I don't even know what else to do. Maybe I should, you know what I should have done? Was discard the 2 single strike energies and then earn them back in. I should have used the 2 quick balls to get the 2 single strike energies, earn them back in, and then I would have had 2 Houndours in play. But I don't really have much for next turn, so what I'm going to do is go for the Crobat, which really doesn't feel very good. But I'm going to bring up a Genesect. I really wish I could just click it and it would go instead of me having to click and drag. But we're going to get to draw 5 cards, so that's fun. Forest Seal Stone's pretty good. We attach an energy. Okay. We have an Air Balloon. That might not be bad. I don't think I want to attach anything this turn. But I can get 2. We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. Star Alchemy, get another Houndour. Kind of need it. Because if they escape, I mean, if they escape rope, then whatever. But let them knock out the Lumineon, and then we can go from there. The problem is they don't have to use Technoblast. They can very easy Melodious Echo. I wonder if the soft lock is, of course they can do it. Of course they do. But what are they really going to get? Catcher or Sparkle or Escape Rope Sparkle. That makes sense. It has to be Escape Rope Sparkle, right? And I'll give them the Crobat. It's fine. And they'll probably go up with the Mew because then it has free retreat. And they didn't get the Sparkle. They go with the Escape Rope, but they had the Switch, which is interesting. I feel like that was a misplay. They could have gotten 2 more Fusion Strike energies. Attached to the Mew, attached to the Meloetta. They could Fusion Strike for 1, yeah. Ultra Ball for a Mew Vmax. Yep, there it is. Now they can, but they gotta find a Sparkle. Although, I mean, technically, just finding one Fusion Strike energy and attaching to the Mew Vmax will be enough. It'll be enough to KO because it'll do 140 plus the 30 is 170. So, it's enough to knock out the Lumineon. Just exactly enough. Now, if they don't evolve this Mew V, which I don't see why they don't, if they don't evolve it, Houndoom will KO it. Because its attack doesn't do a ton, does 50, but I'll get 2 single strike energies on there, which brings it to 90, and 90 times 2 because Mew is weak to dark is 180. It's exactly enough. So, and I have appears to get another single strike energy, so if they do throw an Oricorio down, then I can do it. I wonder what is happening. It seems like the lock has happened, because they're taking too long. It should be my turn. So, yep, there we go. This is what Pokemon Live does. They eventually got to a point where, I don't know if they were going to energy mix, I don't know what they were doing, but the game has just, it's a soft lock. I can still look at everything, I can still click around, I can still, you know, do things in the game. It doesn't freeze on you, it's just no more actions can be taken. And as you can see, it's been well over the amount of time you would have in a turn. The game only gives you like 15 or 18 seconds to make a turn or make actions. So they haven't made an action in a long time, and here we go. So I guess that's the end of the game, because the only thing you can do is concede. You have to concede, and then you have to restart the game. So yeah, Live, terrible, sucks. This is the worst. So there we go. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is the absolute worst. I despise it. I really don't like it. It's a terrible, terrible platform. If you don't have to play it, you shouldn't. But if you're like me and we're stupid, you might not have many options. The dumbest boy in school. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much. Urshifu, I love it. It's my favorite deck. It's my favorite Pokemon. It's just not there. It's too slow. Too many pieces. If you draw the wrong cards in the wrong order, like if you get 3 or 4 of your Urn of Vitalities in the beginning of the game, you're going to likely have to discard them or put them to the bottom of the deck with Marnie, and then you just don't have them when you need them. It's really it's just too many things can go wrong. If you go second, you're really in a lot of trouble because you have no real options on your first turn going second. You can't evolve into your Houndooms, so your Tauros and your Morpekos do no damage to anything. You can't make use of something like laser focus on the Urshifu, because even if you do, you're likely to just get KO'd on your opponent's next turn. You have to go first, and it really, really stinks. Can you maybe make something happen? Or in a best of 3, if you're lucky, you win the coin flip. Game 2, you just lose because you go second, and then you choose to go first game 3. Yeah, sure. Do you constantly want to do that? Probably not. So overall, I don't really recommend the deck, but if you want to try it, I have the deck list in the video description. So that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, found this informative, all that kind of stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, you know the deal. And I will see you next time.